hyphens within a text. The first thing that we're going to have a think about is what the difference between a hyphen and a dash is. Now, I would like you to write a couple of sentences explaining the meaning of what a hyphen is and what a dash is for me. Don't worry if you're not sure at the moment, I'd just like you to have a go. Now, underneath this video, there is a link to another video on BBC Bitesize which explains the difference between a hyphen and a dash. Once you have made your predictions, I'd like you to watch that BBC Bitesize video. So pause this one and then come back to this video once you've had a watch of the BBC Bitesize video. So from the BBC Bitesize video, we should have learned that a dash is used to indicate where parenthesis has been used. Remember, parenthesis is extra information within our writing. So all those brilliant relative clauses that you include in your fantastic writing and those subordinate clauses are that example of parenthesis. They are extra information to make our sentences even more interesting. So we use a dash to represent where that parenthesis has been used. So in the video, it used the relative clause, who is a splendid chap, and it had those dashes either side of that embedded relative clause. Remember, an embedded relative clause is where the relative clause is within the middle of that sentence. We learnt that a hyphen is used to join two or more words together to create one word. So hyphens can create compound adjectives, which we use to describe nouns, compound nouns. They can be used for numbers or they can be used within words containing a prefix. So what do you think it means to be ambiguous? Ambiguity is when something is open to more than one interpretation. So this means that we might think that there's more than one meaning to a word. We use hyphens to avoid ambiguity within our writing. So this means that hyphens can make our writing clear and easy for the reader to understand. So it helps them to know what we mean with the vocabulary that we are using. Are you ready to see a man eating shark? This is a man eating shark. We're now going to look at how a hyphen has been used to avoid ambiguity within this sentence. So this is a man-eating shark. So we can see that this hyphen has been placed between the two words man and eating. This has now formed a compound adjective. I know this because I can see that shark is my noun and man-eating is describing the shark. And we know that adjectives describe nouns. So like we've just discussed, we can see that this hyphen is being used to form a compound adjective. This makes the meaning of the vocabulary man-eating shark clear to the reader and helps to avoid that ambiguity. Remember, if something is ambiguous, it means that it's open to more than one interpretation. It can seem to have more than one meaning. So we're going to have another look at an example here together. So John had £20 notes. John had £20 notes. What are the two different meanings of these sentences? I'd like you to have a little think about it. So from that first sentence, we could infer that John has pound notes, like we can see in this image here, and he has 20 of them all together. Whereas when the hyphen has been placed between the two words 20 and pound, we can infer that John has a £20 note. So this hyphen has helped to avoid ambiguity because it's made it clear to us how much money John has. So your activity for today is to have a read through the text loosely. This can be found under the heading Wednesday then English or below this video. When you've read through the text once, so you understand the text, you're comfortable with the vocabulary and you understand what it's about, I'd like you to highlight any words which contain a hyphen. Remember, a hyphen is joining two or more words together to form one new word, whereas our dashes are used to indicate parenthesis, that extra information within those sentences. I'd then like you to start to have a little think about why you think a hyphen has been used. Please don't worry if you're not 100% sure at this point, as we are going to continue looking at hyphens in tomorrow's lesson. So do you think the hyphen could be used to form a compound adjective? Remember, look at the noun. Is that word that contains that hyphen describing that noun for you? So think back to that example of man-eating shark. Has it been used as a prefix? So earlier we talked about the word cooperate. So co would be my prefix, operate is my root word, and I've put a hyphen between those two to join them together to form one new word. Has it been used to avoid ambiguity? Does it now make it clear to you as the reader what that meaning of that vocabulary is? You can find the answers as to why a hyphen has been used under the heading Wednesday, then English. If you have any questions at all about anything I've gone through with you today or the activity that I would like you to complete, then you can find my email address on the Year 6 class page and message me any of those questions.